Hey guys, it's Boop, like the sound effect, and today we're gonna go over my top 25 albums of the year. 2025 was really good for music, so it really was difficult to make this 25. I was originally just gonna do 10, and then it turned into 15, and then 20, and then eventually I just said, I can't do it. It has to be 25, and that's it. I'm not making any more concessions. My plan is to name the album, the artist, the genre, and then give the song I would recommend most or find most accessible for people who want to give the album a try themselves. To start off, we have Detroit's own Danny Brown, experimental rapper, has a very unique delivery, as you know if you've listened to any of Danny Brown's work. His album Stardust came out this year, and it's easily one of my favorite projects. It might be my favorite Danny project ever, even more so than Triple X or Atrocity Exhibition. I just think the way Danny has embraced the hyper pop production and just that whole scene and incorporated it into his creative flow, it fits his style perfectly, and I hope we get at least another album that fully embraces its style because it's a great direction he's taken his sound. I think the features are perfect. They don't water anything down, they're only additive. The song I want to highlight from the album is the first track, actually. It's The Book of Daniel. It's kind of an introspective song, so it gives you a nice intro into Danny, I think, and the sounds that you'll be hearing throughout the rest of the album. To me, it was my favorite song when I first listened to it, and it's still my favorite upon further listens as well. The next album we have is from the private collection of Saba and No ID by rapper Saba, and the production is handled by No ID. It's a pretty legendary matchup we have here. Saba is a great storyteller, in my opinion, one of my favorites in hip hop. This album is no different. Technically, since it's a collab album, it might kind of feel like it's not a proper Saba album, but you get everything Saba has ever offered and more. He really doesn't skip a beat. He didn't phone this in, neither did No ID. It's a great album. The song I would like to recommend is Head Wrap, but the whole album is packed with songs that really are great introductions to Saba and the production of No ID. So picking one with this album wasn't really that easy, but Head Wrap was my favorite when it comes to the substance of the song, so we'll go with that one. Next up, we have Ethel Cain's Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You. This is indie pop, folk pop, and I loved Preacher's Daughter. I didn't listen to Perverts because it just kind of fell by the wayside, in all honesty. I'm sure I'll listen to it in the future. This genre isn't normally for me, but I love Ethel's voice. The very low-key production and instrumentals work wonders for me. It suits her voice perfectly. And the song I'd like to recommend is Fuck Me Eyes. It's easily my favorite song on the album. Now we have an album from one of my favorite rappers currently, Z Looper's experimental rap project, Dolly Ain't Dead. Z Loopers is of the ilk of Danny Brown, where he has a very unique delivery that stands out, and you can always tell it's a Z Looper song. And he can rap on basically any beat. I've heard him and Danny rap over a Crash Bandicoot beat, and it somehow works. For this one, I'd like to recommend Bebe Kids. Now we have West Coast rapper Ray Vaughn's album, The Good, the Bad, the Dollar Menu. This might be a hot take, but I thought Ray handled the Joey Badass rap beef and subsequent battle very well. I thought it was pretty even the way they were trading blows. I know people hold Joey in the high regard, but I think Ray really was punching above his weight there, but the way he just stepped right up to the plate and was throwing punches and they were landing was amazing. So I had to listen to this album, and he didn't disappoint. I think the future is so bright for Ray Vaughn. I think TD has a future star, for sure. The label's pumping out just such great projects lately. And the song from this one is titled Dollar Menu. I think it encapsulates the sound of the album perfectly, and you can listen to it on repeat. It's packed with entendres and clever wordplay. It's very fun to listen to. A lot like Z Looper's album, this one had me laughing a couple times. Now let's travel all the way back to the East Coast, where Aesop Rock put out an album this year. It's titled I Heard It's a Mess There Too, and it's a very dystopian album if you couldn't tell by the title. But the topics are handled with grace and with jokes, so it's not a depressing listen. I very much get Tony Hawk Pro Skater vibes from this album, so if you like the backpack rap sound, definitely check this one out. The song I would recommend to you if you're interested is titled The Cut. It's very good, very catchy. Now we have an Now we have an emo album. Fuck. Now we have an emo album. I'm in my head. Now we have Hot Mulligan's The Sound a Body Makes When It's Still. This is one of the 2 Midwest emo albums I have on my end of year list. While I don't think it's as good as their last album, Why Would I Watch, it's still a very good album. You get everything Hot Mulligan offers. The vocal delivery is as good as ever. I would put them as one of my favorite bands currently. They're just so consistent and I love their sound. It feels like you never go too long without hearing new Hot Mulligan, which I really appreciate. Let's see how many times saying the song's name will take me. I recommend the song Slumdog Skungillionaire. Wow, you won't believe it, but that was my first attempt. We did it, boys. I am slowly learning how to read. You better watch out. This one won't be any surprise. It's Spiritbox's Tsunami Sea. I think Spiritbox is far and away the best metalcore band of the big acts currently. To me, there's really no competition among the big 3, I would say. I'm not really tapped in with Bad Omens or Sleep Token, but those would be the other 2 in that conversation from what I've gathered. Spiritbox is miles ahead of both, in my opinion. Courtney's at her best. The instrumentals are amazing. You don't notice the production overtaking anything, and I really appreciate that in any metalcore album because, as I've said before, the Jordan fishification of metalcore right now is, like, respect to Jordan. I love what he makes, but bands have taken the production and just ran it into the ground and aren't as talented as Jordan is at incorporating it. The song I'd like to recommend from the album is Black Rainbow. Tyler, the Creator's Don't Tap the Class is up next, and after Chromacopia, I think Tyler was very smart to release a fun, dancey album, one that's really easy to listen to and digest. You don't need to be Googling phone numbers for this one. Not saying that's a bad thing, but it was a nice change of pace. I love Tyler's whole catalog, and this is a very worthy addition. It leans hip house, it's very danceable. The song I'd like to recommend is Stop Playing With Me. Even though it's currently being run into the ground on ESPN, in random game promos, it's still very good. LS Dune's album Violet is next. It's one of Anthony Green's side projects. Well, I wouldn't even say side projects at this point. It's one of Anthony Green's projects. I don't think any of his projects are side projects. I think he's just very busy. This is one of my favorite post-hardcore albums of the year, and the title track Violet is what I would recommend without a doubt. It's been in rotation since I've listened to the album. It's a great song. The guitar work and the drums on the album stand out as well. I mean, LS Dunes is a super group, so everyone can more than pull their own, and I think that's reason enough to check the band out. I don't think we have enough super groups right now. We gotta get back to it. We gotta bring back some semblance of Isles and Glaciers Definitely got to replace a few of those members. If I Die First, We Need You to Come Back. Please come back. They are my favorite band. It's really hard when your favorite band is a band that's a supergroup that doesn't ever put out music. Another album that won't come as a surprise is Never Enough by Turnstile. I'm hesitant to call it a hardcore album because Turnstile I don't think is hardcore with their last couple releases. That's not a bad thing in my opinion. I like hardcore and I like the direction Turnstiles went. While it does sound like a deluxe Glow On to me, it's still very good. Glow On is a perfect album in my opinion, and more of a perfect album isn't a bad thing. It's just redundant. Seeing Stars, listen to that song if you'd like. An album that was included in my best summer albums of the year is Hyper Youth by Joey Valence and Bray. No Hands might have been my favorite album of 2024, so this was gonna end up on my 2025 list. It was basically a shoo-in as soon as they announced it. I love the song What's Up with JPEG Mafia. If you don't know, Joey Valence and Bray is an experimental rap duo, and they make very danceable music, very catchy music, very fun music, lots of jokes packed in there, and references. I love when they talk about Halo. Never gets old. Make every song about Halo. I don't care. By far my favorite pop album of the year was Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter. I'm gonna be basic. I recommend the song Man Child. It's one of my favorite songs overall of the year. I can listen to it every time it comes on. It's one of the songs that I will listen to it on the radio if it comes on. I don't go to some other station. I'm in my radio era currently. I've been doing it all year, trying to listen to more of the radio. It's hit or miss, the radio, you know? Very, very bad music on the rock stations normally, but it's how I kind of stay in tune with pop music because I don't normally search that out. And I first heard Manchild and I liked the country kind of twinge it had to it, and it's just so catchy and so fun. It makes me smile when I listen to it, and I like that. Here is a smaller metalcore group that I highly recommend you check out. They're called Fox Cult, and they released an album this year called Watercolors, The Emerald Grove. To me, they're one of the best up-and-coming bands, and the song I recommend is again the title track, The Emerald Grove. This one features the singer from Galleons, which is a band I've been meaning to check out, but I haven't done so yet. The song makes me want to, though, because he did a very good job. Next up, we have Dead Channel Sky by the experimental rap group Clipping. And Clipping, if you don't know, rips. They have elements of horrorcore in there. I recommend it if you're a horror fan. They have a lot of very fun songs with lots packed full of references in a more thoughtful way and a less overt way than, someone like Ice Nine Kills, but we went over that in the last video, so I don't want to devote any more time to them. For this album, there's more techno production. It makes me feel like I'm in cyberpunk and walking into like a cyber goth rave. That's the vibe I get from this. It's very dystopian. The song I recommend is Forever War. It's so good. One of my favorite songs of the year. Now we have Sankofa by Red Veil, another experimental rapper, often compared to Earl Sweatshirt. His last project, Learn to Swim, was one of my favorites the year it came out. This album, he leans more to Pimp a Butterfly than in Earl project. You could tell he's heavily influenced by the album. I don't think that's a bad thing to wear influences on your sleeve like that, as long as you clearly care about the craft and you're good at your craft. And the jazzy production fits so well with his vocal delivery. He's so young and he's one of my favorite rappers. He has a chance, I think, to be in my top 5 personally by the time things are said and done. He hasn't released a bad song yet, so definitely check him out. The song I recommend is called Time, A Dream Deferred. I'm not really putting these in any particular order, but if I were, Breach would be one of my top albums of the year. 21 Pilots really ate with this one. Quite frankly, I was gagged and gooped. This is my favorite album of theirs since Trench, and it blows Scaled and Icy out of the water, so let's not even count that one. I loved Clancy. This is better than Clancy in my opinion. This album is so catchy. There are several days of the week where different songs from this album will be stuck in my head, and I don't hate it, which you can't say about a lot of songs that get stuck in your head. You've already heard the song I'm gonna recommend. It's The Contract. I just love the song. And while I'm talking about 21 Pilots, we gotta stop pretending they don't make good music. I've been talking about this album since it came out, but Live, Laugh, Love by Earl Sweatshirt is one of my favorite albums of the year as well. I just love to see Earl happy, and the success he's been having, you can just hear it all in the music, and production is great too. I recommend Tourmaline from this one. The Callous Dow Boys are up next with their album I Don't Want to See You in Heaven. This is a mathcore album. I love everything about it. I could listen to instrumentals from the Dow Boys all day and feel like I'm not hearing any repeating ideas, and that is just so fun for me. I recommend the song Two-Headed Trout on this one. That is probably my second favorite song of the year. You'll know my number one because I'll say it when it comes up. Two-Headed Trout's just been on repeat since it came out. Next up we have the album Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party by Hayley Williams, and I'd recommend the title track off that one as well. But Hayley's at her best on this album. The songs are just so good that the flow doesn't really bother me. I only noticed it when it was pointed out by someone else. Hayley shows her sense of humor on the album and the wittiness of the lyrics, and I'm sure everyone heard about the Morgan Wallen stuff. It was just such a fun album to listen to. 5 more left, and here's the second Midwest emo album we have. It's Ben Quad's album Wisher. I love what Ben Quad is doing right now. Who knew Oklahoma would have 2 really good bands coming out right now? The other being Chat Pile. Everything Ben Quad has put out has been so good, and seeing them blow up over the last couple of years, they deserve it. Pure Noise Records that they're signed to might have my favorite lineup of all the labels right now. They just have so many artists that I adore signed to them. The song I'd recommend is Very Big in Sheboygan. Shout out Sheboygan. I've talked about this album so much on the channel, but it's Pantheon by Dance Gavin Dance. I still am surprised at how much I like this album. Still surprised at how much Andrew's voice has grown on me. Still not huge on Idola, however. This album by Dance Gavin Dance has John at his best, and John is one of my favorite vocalists. He is my favorite unclean vocalist, so everything else came together to really surprise me, and of course, the guitar work and drums are always going to be on point. Sergio's a menace on the bass. Andrew really surprised me. I didn't really like how he fit in the features he's been in over the years. This album is really good and I like it a lot. I think the rumors of their demise were greatly exaggerated, and I was a part of those. And I was wrong. The song I'd like to recommend is Animal Surgery. It's the first one on the album and it kicks things off perfectly. Now is another Swancore band, Hail the Sun, with their album Cut, Turn, Fade Back. And for the song, I would recommend you check out I Can Tell by the Scars. Hail the Sun is similar to Dance Gavin Dance, where the instrumentals always deliver, and Donovan, the vocalist, he's one of the best in the genre. This album was good from the very jump. When I heard the singles, I knew I was gonna love it, and then it came out, and I was upset when it was over because it felt like it wasn't long enough. Now for the penultimate entry to this list. Don't know if I used that right. I've just heard it said before and using context clues. If I am, make sure you let me know in the comments. If not, don't say anything so I can continue to make a fool of myself. But anyway, the album is God Does Like Ugly by Jid. Hip hop at its finest, one of the best rap albums of in recent memory, really. It was hard to pick a song that I liked most on this album, but it has to be the song with Westside Gunn called You Ugly. I love the angry rapping. It just fits the theme of the album so well, and I couldn't stop listening to it when I first bought the album. That will be a song that is on every playlist ever moving forward. Until further notice, it's one of those for me. Before I get to the last entry, I wanted to have one honorable mention, and it's an album that officially released this year, but has been floating around amongst the fans for a while, so it's not new to fans of Mac Miller, but it is a new release technically. It's Balloonerism. It's a great album. I just didn't feel like it fit the rest of the list because we've known about it for so long, and it wasn't new material for like the die-hard Mac Miller fans, I would say. That takes nothing away from the album itself. It's a very bittersweet album, one of Mac's best, I would say. Now moving on to my number one album. This is the only album that is put in order because it's definitively my favorite of the year. It's the Clips album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. And along with being my favorite album of the year, POV featuring Tyler the Creator is my favorite song of this year.
This is culturally inappropriate.
That song puts me in a mood where I could run through a wall, like a really thick wall too. It has some of the best rapping I've heard in a very long time on it. I think it should sweep at the Grammys, but we'll see. I'm definitely pulling for it, and Kendrick is my favorite rapper of all time, but this album is better than GNX in my opinion. I don't even think it's particularly close, and that's insane because I love GNX, man. I don't think I'd said it out loud until then, but that's kind of crazy. If you somehow haven't heard this album, definitely do it. It will probably be one of your favorites of the year if you're into rap as well. Not a shocking choice, but it is definitively my choice. With that, I believe we're done with my music videos for 2025. Next up will probably be my favorite movies of the year. That'll be a fun one. I've watched so many new releases, not as many as last year, because I went through a bit of a depression this year and didn't really watch many movies for a period, but I think I've only watched one new release that I would consider a bad movie, so I might just make a video where I order them from worst to best, because that just might be easier and more fun, and it'll give me something to think about, which will be interesting. But before that, I still have to watch a couple that have been on my list. One Battle After Another is one that I've been looking forward to, and it just came out on Max, I believe, so I gotta watch that. I gotta finish Queens of the Dead. I had to stop midway through because I was too tired. I'm probably gonna finish that after I end this, so let me do that. Thank you for watching. Let me know your favorites of the year, and goodbye.